So, morning, Marian. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Jill. How are you?
Oh, it's tough, but I'm getting there. It's um,
Good.
it's unusual times, isn't it?
You're telling me it's absolutely unusual. Have you been ill, or how have you
I've
been
had
health
coughs,
wise?
coughs and colds. When you're ill, I don't know about you, you get a temperature, or you get a little cough, or you get thinking, oh my God, if I got it, if I got it.
Yeah, it's
So,
difficult to know, isn't it?
yeah,
It's difficult to know without having the actual test. I mean, about what would it be now? It must be 4 or 5 weeks ago. 4 or 5 weeks ago, before it really kicked off, before lockdown started, I'd been up to London for the day on a course. And London has a high incidence of what's going on in terms of numbers. Anyway, it was most strange because about less than a week later, um, I started with this really weird sort of cross between a cold and a virus, and it was very sort of up and down. Like it started, and then I thought it was like a 24-hour thing, and then it disappeared, and then another symptom came back. And over the course of, I suppose, 2.5 weeks, it knocked me sideways energy-wise, which was really interesting. I just wanted to sleep. And of course, how appropriate is this? I'm a sleep specialist, and so I practiced what I preach, really. I just slept because I knew that my body needed to do it.
yeah,
And I did lose my sense of taste at one point, and I felt like I'd been run over by a bus for 2 days. So I just
yeah.
rested, and I've come out the other side. Whatever that was, I've no idea. I mean, we do get viruses and colds at this time of year anyway, coming out of winter into spring, don't we? So it's difficult to know, but I'm not aware of anybody in my sort of circle yet that's been severely affected by it. How about you?
Well, my nephew, my nephew's a paramedic, and
Yeah.
he's got it, and but hopefully he's coming through the other side now. So he's at home. He hasn't gone into hospital. So
That's good.
which is good. So
Yeah.
I think we've just got to use all our skills and all our because you're holistic, aren't you? You do holistic medicine.
Yeah, well, yes, I'm a holistic therapist, so I like to look at the whole person. So when I'm addressing someone that comes to see me who is having problems sleeping, it's not just a simple fix. It's the whole mix of things. Like, they could be nutritionally deficient in something, so I'd have to suggest they go and see someone else for that. There's so many things that impact our sleep, and of course at this time people are sleeping less than they were before, probably with all the anxiety, the uncertainty. Some people won't be in very good situations. They'll be stuck indoors with people that they don't want to be stuck indoors with and
Mm.
can't escape. Some of them are having to homeschool. There's that pressure. Some of them will still be running their businesses. Some people are struggling with their businesses. How is your business?
Well, I've turned my business on its head a little bit. When I first started out, I wanted to do an online magazine, and then found that actually that was a bit of a dream. You had to get so many followers, and you couldn't really earn money. So I then went back and did my PR work. But then since
Hmm.
this has hit, I'm now doing my magazine again. So there's a lot of businesses out there now. We're all looking at different ways, aren't we? We're all looking at the digital way we can um, help our business.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've gone more online. I've used this time to sort of catch up on all the jobs I was procrastinating about that I hadn't done, like building a database, um, just sorting out piles and piles of paper that were building up that I never seemed to make time to sort out. So
Mm.
I've done that, but I've also been offering online support for reflexology to some of my existing clients. I had a spat of that for about 3 weeks, just demonstrating how to do it on the hands, and people actually found it really valuable because it's time out for them. in their evening to massage their hands, for want of a better word, while you're pressing certain areas, reflexing them. And they're moisturizing their hands, and most of them felt quite floaty afterwards. And I also did an online Facebook Live through the recommendation of somebody I know through networking, who said, get out there and do something to make yourself more visible. And I think that's very important, isn't it, to either stay visible if you are visible, or make yourself more visible, so that the other side of this, you have something to come back to.
Yes, because I remember the first 2 weeks when it hit, I just wanted to hide under the duvet. And I was looking at other people thinking, oh, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. I should be doing that. But you can't compare yourself to them. You've got to find your own
No.
way.
Yeah.
You've got to find
Yeah.
your own way of, because if you're going to go digital, you've got to feel comfortable in what you're doing.
Yes, comfortable and confident, I think, are the
Yeah.
two of the factors, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it's awesome. Yes, I think it's awesome what you're doing, and as you say, we have to find ways forward. And also, I'm on a mentorship program, and they're very much advocating keeping in contact with your clients or your customers, checking in on them, not for any ulterior motive other than just to say, hi, how are you? And I found that really useful as well. I worked my way through people that I've either sold products to, or people that I've treated with my reflexology or facelift massage. And the fact, just one human to human contact and saying, hi, how are you? Bizarre times, what are you up to? I think I was recommending something to somebody yesterday for their garden. They were talking about their camellia. And it's that kind of thing. It's, I'm phoning for no other reason than to connect on a human level. So I recommended she get some ericaceous compost for her camellia because it was going yellow. So we had a bit of a giggle and a chat about that. But that's when you're older, like I am, you've got years and years of experience, and it might be, well, how do you do this with a recipe? Or, what do you think might be the best way to do this, that, or the other? And so,
yes.
And I think it is about giving. It's so much about just giving and being kind.
Yes,
and
definitely.
keeping positive as you can, laughing, trying to find things to laugh about, to raise your vibration. And when you're happy and positive, this is very much of the holistic approach, is that boosts your immune system. If you get dragged down into the depths of too much negative social media, or too much news, I don't tend to watch the television more than sort of for the 5 o'clock update every day, because I find I start feeling anxious, which isn't a common feeling for me. So my heart goes out to these people who are really struggling, and I can help them. I offer online consultations, and we talk about suggestions that they can do. I mean, unfortunately, some people can't even get outside, which must be horrific.
Well, that's where your exercise is so important, isn't it? Taking that
Yes.
hour's exercise, because
Yeah.
that really makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah. Have you been going out for walks in your allotted time? Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely. I've a bit like you said earlier about I wasn't a walker before. I struggle with it, but now I'm looking forward to my walk. I'm looking forward to my exercise in the day, because it makes me feel so much better. So
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. I hadn't been walking. I kept saying, "Oh, I'll do it." Never made the time. I've got people, when they hear this, they'll be just rolling their eyes, thinking, "Yeah." But I hadn't. But this sort of hour of exercise is a gift for me. It's a gift, and I've been doing it. And I now, like you, I'm almost gagging to, when are we going to go for a walk? When are we going to go for a walk? And the weather's been so amazing. I think most of the days, hasn't it? I think there was an odd day where it was overcast, but that's a blessing, I guess, is that if it was cold and damp and snowing and whatever, that would deflate the moods as well, wouldn't it? And that would make it so much worse if the kids can't get out where they can get out into their gardens.
You also run Fairham Mumpreneurs, don't you?
I do, yes. I have that great privilege. Mumpreneurs is a networking group. Despite the name, which suggests it's for mums only. It was started 10 years ago by the two directors, Nikki Chisholm and Sarah Guile, because they wanted to network their businesses and they've got small children, but they couldn't get to the network meetings that were at the wrong time of the morning for them to get the kids to school or nursery. So they started the group 10 years ago in Brighton, and it's just grown and grown along the coast. And 3 years ago, they were looking for new managers for different areas. And I'd been once to a meeting, and I saw the advert and I thought, well, I could do that. I could do that. And what a great way to meet people, because we've moved from the West London 4 years ago and knew no one. And it was something I investigated. I started the group up at Cams Mill Fuller's Pub just over 3 years ago from nothing. And I think at the end of last year, I had 40 members. That's dwindled a little bit recently. Some people haven't renewed. But we've got new members joining. In fact, somebody joined last month after having done an online. Again, there you are. We've gone online. We're running our meetings
online.
Yeah. And I think the thing is, some people had, at first they thought, well, I haven't got a business at the moment. But it's not that. It's about being visible, staying connected, connecting with those people that you would normally see at least once a month at the fair and meeting. And for support, you know, we've got some members who were really openly admitted that they were down in the dumps. They didn't know where to go. And through support of other members, we've seen a change in them. There's been a turnaround, and they think it will actually be the making of their business, which is fabulous, because
Yes.
out of adversity, something great has happened.
Mm.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, because you've got all those different businesses, haven't you? You've got such
Yes.
a collection. I remember when I come along, I was surprised on how many different businesses. How are they all doing now at the moment?
Some aren't doing as well as others. I think quite a few like me are doing back office stuff, all that paperwork, you know, perhaps building databases and
That's a good
or
idea.
email. Yeah. What I was going to say was, it's the name suggests that it's mums, but we've actually opened up now to non-parents and men as well. Yeah. Because there are the roles have changed in society. You know, a lot of men are working from home with their self-employed business, switch roles, or mum might not be around. Life's changed, hasn't it? It's not what it was 10 years ago. So we welcome all sorts of small self-employed businesses, start-up or in the first couple of years, who are looking really to connect with other people who work from home, because it's so lonely at home. You can really feel on your own, and just that there's nobody there to say, well, you know, where would you source this, or what would I do for this post? And we've got a mix of, so we've got social media people, we've got accountants, mortgage advisors, travel counsellors, which probably aren't doing very well at the moment. They're really struggling. The travel advisors, because nobody's booking anything.
You know, you hope that once this is finished, we'll all be gagging to go, you know, to get away and start living again.
Yeah, I'm certainly gagging for a holiday. Although I've been making use of the back garden and my daily walk to soak up the sun's rays really, and get some vitamin D in me, and that's great for the body, and something that I'm really doing for myself. I find that this has, I know it's been a disaster for some people, you know, and it's been tragic, absolutely tragic for some families with the deaths that have happened. And I'm truly blessed that my health is pretty good, having got through that virus quite lightly, I think, whatever it was. I think it's so important to support your immune system. So I've been taking a right concoction that some mornings looks worse than others. It's an organic barley grass, which is the most alkalizing food on the planet. And I take that in a smoothie that I make up with some organic wheatgrass that's in the freezer, some omega-3, a little bit of sea salt, which is good for the body as well, not you know, just a quick sprinkle, and then some fruit and some anything else I feel like throwing in, really. And I think it's important to support our immune systems at this time. I mean, there's so many other things you can take. I know that CBD oil is very good for supporting the immune system, but so is good sleep. Sleep is so important for mental health. You know, if people are having trouble sleeping, then they can feel absolutely free, confidential, to contact me, and we can have a chat. And it might be a few small tweaks. Like there was one lady I helped before this all happened, who, to all intents and purposes, looked fit and healthy. She wasn't overweight, and we were having a coffee one day chatting, and she disclosed that she was pre-diabetic, which was quite surprising. And so I started asking a few questions, and we found out that she wasn't sleeping. So I suggested to her that she switch off her phone or put it onto flight mode and move it away from the bedside table where it was kept. And also she wore a Fitbit to tell her how she slept. And I sort of smiled and I said, well, I have found in the past with other people that removing the Fitbit actually helps you sleep. And she looked at me dubiously, and I said, no, just try it. You know, it's not going to cost you anything. Try doing those two things and see what happens. And she emailed me early the next morning and said she'd had the best night's sleep.
Really?
Yeah. And then I heard from her recently, and so we're probably talking 2-3 months later. Not only has her blood pressure come down because she's sleeping better, but also she's now no longer pre-diabetic. That melts my heart. I mean, that's what I'm here for. It's amazing. I mean, how great is that? It's just phenomenal. I mean, she's got one of those bracelets like you've got from me as well, and she wears that to support anxiety and her sleep as well. But I love what I do, you know, and I can still do this via phone calls or Zoom one-to-ones.
The magnetic bracelet that I have from you, I wear when I wear most of the time, but particularly at the moment when I go shopping, because I'm finding that is my critical time when I'm most anxious. And the magnetic bracelet, now I'm not shaking as much. I used to have a tremor, quite a bad tremor. And I think when you first met me, you saw my tremor. And that's how come I ended up with the magnetic bracelet. And I couldn't quite believe that it actually helped me, and first of all, my mind wanted to know why does that help me? But now I'm like, I don't really care why. It just helps me. So
it's having that and thank you so much for trusting me, because I think the thing is, you know, you could have gone down the medication route. You could have gone to your GP and said, you know, I've got this and Lord knows what you'd have ended up on. I don't know. My attitude is very much try something natural and holistic and non-invasive, like that bracelet. You know, it's a simple bracelet, isn't it, with three little magnets on it. But that bracelet is awesome. I mean, I was promoting it for, now I can't make any medical claims, as you know, so I won't use the word pain, but the word that we would use for pain is discomfort. And I was promoting it for discomfort in people's shoulders or elbows or wrists from RSI, too much working on the mouse or the laptop, or any repetitive action. And as a side effect of that, somebody bought one and they happened to notice about a week, 10 days in, that their anxiety had reduced. And I went, pardon? And then I started to think about it from a holistic point of view. And I thought, well, the way I look at it is that we're putting magnets on the body, and those magnets have certain energies in them that you find in nature. So, you know, when you go for a walk on the beach, or in a forest, most people tend to feel good because in the air there's something called negative ions, and those negative ions are the feel good ions. And it just so happens that the company that produced the bracelet, amongst other products, they've incorporated the technologies into the products so that you're putting that on the body. And when you give the body what it's lacking in terms of connection with nature, magic happens. It brings about balance. And so somebody bought it for discomfort. They then got a benefit from anxiety. They told me, I did a post about it on Facebook, hence this is the power of social media. And so somebody bought a bracelet for anxiety, and as a spin-off from that, they then messaged me and said, not only do I feel less anxious, but my hot flushes have calmed down. And I'm going, this is bonkers. And in terms of reflexology, again, it's how does it work? And my mind works overtime. Where the bracelet is near the uterus and ovary reflexes on the wrist. And I thought, well, I wonder if that's got anything to do with it. So a couple of people bought the bracelets for hot flushes. They're wearing them 24/7 and finding that they're sleeping better. And I'm going, oh my God, this is just ridiculous. I mean, it's amazing how one simple product can have such a beneficial effect for so many people. I love it. I just love it.
You have a medical background anyway, don't you? Because you spent so many years in the NHS.
Yeah, I've got a scientific background. I was in the NHS as a biomedical scientist in haematology for 27 years on and off, and then left, having retrained as a reflexologist during that time when I'd gone part-time. And I thought I'd turn my back on science. I thought, oh no, I'm going to be a therapist, not realizing that the common denominator between the science and what I was doing with reflexology and massage is the human body. Yeah. And how awesome is that human body when it's got everything it needs to support it and make it work better and optimally. And so that was interesting. And then sort of a year into networking, I was promoting my reflexology business, and somebody sat down next to me waving these magnetic insoles. And you know, Jill, when there's just a synchronistic moment, you think, I need to talk to her. There was just something, a magic moment happened. And the next thing I know is about a month later, I'd joined up with this company that promote these amazing products for all sorts of problems, you know, the anxiety, energy, discomfort, sleep, hydration. And there's a lot of scientific evidence on how those products work. And I thought, aha, the science has come back to slap me on the face again. You can't get away from it, but in a different way. So I love it. I absolutely love it. And the miracles I've seen with these products, and there's no other word for it, they are miracles. When people who haven't slept start sleeping with a quilt that's got magnets in it, not a weighted blanket, oh, it makes me buzz. I love it. I absolutely love helping people. And, you know, I'll always look for a solution to suit their budget. Yeah. So it's not always a hard sell if all their budget permits is 30 quid, 40 quid, 50, 60. I will find something to suggest that will help them through what they're doing, because not everybody wants to invest a large amount of money. However, it's not a large amount of money when you think that, say for a sleep system example, which is a mattress topper, a quilt and a pillow, yes, it's an initial large investment, but when you think that that system will last you at least 10 years, it's about, I don't know, pennies. It's pennies per day over that time to give you a good night's sleep, which then increases your lifespan, it improves your mental health, it allows your body to detox, it makes you non-pre-diabetic, so many things, you know. Sleep, if you don't sleep, you can put on weight and you don't function properly at work, so your productivity goes down. It's such an interwoven web of
and hydration, isn't it? Because hydration,
you need to be hydrated. You need to be hydrated.
To realize that those two things were so important within our well-being.
They're almost like, I would say that they're not, but I call them nutrients, because if you're not hydrated, you are predisposing yourself to so many modern day illnesses, as I call them, inflammatory conditions, degenerative disorders. If you don't drink good quality water, it upsets the gut, and the gut is mission control in my book. If that gut is out of balance, nothing functions optimally at all. So it's really important to think about what's in your tap water, what's in the food you eat, what's in the air you breathe. It's a really complex subject, and there is no one quick, easy fix, magic bullet. So it's trial and error. And I think the products that I promote are unique. No other company on the planet takes this approach to sleep. There are many things out there to help with sleep: cognitive behavioral therapy, as I mentioned earlier, cannabis oil, so many things and techniques, but nobody has the approach that we have with the products, which are basically bringing nature indoors and putting your body back in that natural environment, cocooning you from all the what we call electromagnetic frequencies that can upset your body and make you jittery and you can't switch off at night. So
if people want to find you, what's your website?
My holistic therapy web. Oh, there's a bit of a delay going on here. My holistic therapy website is www.mariansholistictherapies.com, and that's Marian spelt with an A.
And you're on social media?
I am. I'm there as myself on my personal page, but I also have a Facebook page called Marian's Holistic Therapies.
Okay. Well, I'll put the links with the podcast. It's lovely chatting to you. And
sorry, I felt I took over a little bit there. I get so passionate about what I do.
It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful, because there's so much there that people can take from, that I think to listen to you, you're so passionate about what you do. And like I say, I already know because I've tried your bracelets and stuff, so I already know how great you are. So
thank you. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to you.
All right then, take care.
Thanks very much, Jill. Thank you. Bye-bye.